Here by Houston Dash head coach Fabrice Gautrat. I'll go ahead and kick things off and then turn it over to Zoom. Fabrice, we'll just start with opening remarks following today's match.
Yeah, obviously a very gritty performance. Gotham had obviously a lot of the ball, although I don't think they created that much. I think their XG was 1.17. Obviously, we didn't create much either. It was one of those games I thought we came out quite flat, but as the second half progressed, we were able to press a little bit higher. We were able to move our line a little bit higher, and then I think there was a real response after the weather delay to kind of take one and, take one from them and win, come out here with 3 points.
Thank you for that. We'll start with Dustin and then go to Diego. Dustin, go ahead.
Yeah, we looked at a couple clips in possession, out of possession that we needed to improve on. We felt the space between our back line and our midfield line was getting bigger, so just making sure that we're able to condense that a little bit better so that they're not picking up those balls in front of our back line and then just running at them. So we talked about that. And then we talked about mentality piece. We were on the losing end when it came to duels and aerial duels, and as simple as that sounds, like we got to pick it up. Like that's a metric is in our control, and so I think you saw that, especially in the second or after the weather delay. Yeah, I know Edgar just brought up a stat that we're leading in terms of when we're down, in terms of getting points. I'd be curious to look at the stat of how many goals do we score in the last 15 or 20 minutes of games. I would say it's pretty high. The one thing that we've learned in the beginning of the year is always having a response in the second half, and I think as you keep developing that mentality sometimes on the losing end, then it's like when a goal does happen, it doesn't affect you. And so I think for us, we're building kind of that mental resilience as the season progresses.
Thanks, Fabrice. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Diego, go ahead.
Fabrice, congrats on the win. We talked a little bit about how Gotham would come into this game applying heavy pressure, and it turns out that you guys really benefited from that strategy with the own goal. Can you talk to me a little bit about what's going on through your head and overall the pressure throughout the game that you guys were able to do?
Yeah, I mean, that was something we talked at halftime. We felt we were sometimes defending a little bit too low, and so just making those little adjustments to go and press them a little bit higher. And as you said, it really came off a double press. Kiki releasing from her outside back to go to the center back, and then obviously there was a miscommunication between the center back and the goalkeeper. So, yeah, a couple games in a row now where we score off a high pressing situation. So, yeah, really pleased with that for sure.
And then Chappie overall a great defensive performance today. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I love watching her play. I'm not gonna lie. She's so gritty. She's getting stuck in tackles. Like she's kind of elevated our back line, I think, as a whole. And everyone, it's like when you play with someone like that, you start raising your game in different areas. And I think our whole back line has really improved as a whole. And I think Chappie's a big part of that too.
And Michelle coming off the outcome and coming off ending a goal-scoring drought for her time here this season for the Dash. Can you talk to me a little bit about her goal and what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think it was off a second ball, and then Sarah picks it up and plays a phenomenal final ball. Mish made a great optimal width run, so sometimes wide players will just stay wide, but she made that like really good run to receive in the box, and then her finish was. She was so calm, composed, and she just put it in the back of the net. So, yeah, we said that before the break that we have people that are going to change the game. And so we just said, make sure we start on the front foot. So just be ready. And I thought everyone who started that period after the weather delay did really well. And so we were actually going to bring those guys on a little bit earlier, but because everyone was on the front foot, we felt we didn't need to. Then we make those changes, and we knew they were going to change the game. And Mish did it, Soph did it, Sarah did it as well. So really proud of those guys.
And my final question is, besides the game coming up next against Seattle, 3 of your 4 games
Yeah, it does. We obviously have a lot more away games this part of the season, but it's actually to our benefit. So because we train in such high heat, we can wherever we go, we tend to have a lot more energy. And Houston has been predominantly quite good in these months. So that just adds to our mentality going in with the belief that we can go in. So we're obviously really excited to host Seattle, and we'll be ready for those away games when they come.
Thanks, Fabrice. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Manny, go ahead.
Hey, Fabrice, congrats on the win. So it's 7 points from coming from the break. I think many will look at this as a statement win for you and for the team. Does it feel like a statement win for you and the team? I think for other teams looking out, maybe the Dash will have a run to the playoffs.
Look, I think this was more of a mentality win. It's a great analogy of bending but not breaking. So sure, the opposition had more of the ball. Sure, they were potentially getting into our box a little more, but we were resound defensively. We didn't give up too much. Anything was with a block shot or a block cross. So I think all of it, and we knew later down the road, like throughout the game, that we will create a chance. Like we have the belief that we can. I think we've scored 5 goals in the last 15 minutes this season. So that just shows a little bit of our mentality and what we can create in later in the game. So yeah, I think it was more a mentality win. I'm not here to talk about playoffs, this and that. We're just taking one game at a time. That's our mentality. Let's just perform. Let's grit it out. And we did that tonight.
Thanks and congrats on the win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.